All right, so from chapter 1, section 1, I was going to look at number 4. So it says find the length of each side of the right triangle. Well, between 7, 0 and 12, 0, it's obvious that distance, we're just going to subtract that x, the two x values from each other, the 12 and 7, and we get a distance of 5. For the 12, 0 and 12, 12, well, that would make sense to find that distance. We would just subtract our heights, our y values. So 12 minus 0 is 12. To find the distance between these two, this is where we would use Pythagorean theorem. And again, Pythagorean theorem is something you've probably studied in other courses. But it's just looking at that a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And then here's the distance formula between any 2 points based off of the Pythagorean theorem. So when we look at this problem, we're just going to have to use the formula that's on page 4. And so another question from this section we could look at is number 8. Number 8, it says the earnings per share for a retail store were $1.76 in 2008 and $2.82 in 2010. Use the midpoint formula to estimate earnings per share in 2009. So what I would do for this question is I probably would want to see the points, and then we could look at how do we define these points. I am a fan of always making the time they actually give us some directions on this. Assume that the earnings per share follow a linear pattern. So with this is one that says assume that the earnings per share follow a linear pattern. So if I had the choice, I would say that we have a couple points. I'm going to say the year was 2008, and it was $1.76. And I also have another point that is 2010, and it was $2.82. So what I can do is look at this. And so I'm trying to find the midpoint. So it's going to be somewhere between 2008 and 2010. And so yeah, you would be correct if you said that number would be 9, because it's the middle of the two x values. So the formula for midpoint says that you are adding up the x terms and then dividing by 2. And then you add up the y terms and divide by 2. So if we look at that, we'd say, well, yeah, that's 9. But then what would halfway in between 176 and 282 be? So we could just add those up. We could do it for both of them. We could say 8 plus 10 divided by 2. That's my x value, and then my y value is 176 plus 282 divided by 2. And that'll give us that new point, which is 9, 229. So if we were back on our homework, we could say that it's in 2009 would have been 229 per share. And it shows that we got that one correct. So those are some of the ideas that are in section 1, distance formula, midpoint formula, some applications of them, and using that Pythagorean theorem.